What's up, everyone? This is Angelo coming at you with episode 216 of Spinning Thoughts. If you love music and all this content, hit the like button and make sure you're subscribed. It's an excellent way to show your support. My guest for episode 216 is Rishi Bahl from Eternal Boy. I've had him on the show before, and Eternal Boy, for those who have been following Spinning Thoughts since the beginning, may know they have an impact on how we even started here with Chord Music Fest and all of these things that Rishi has created in the Pittsburgh music scene and beyond. So you got to dig in the archive to really find out that story. But Rishi and I talk about so much here in episode 216. Their new album, Bad Days Are Over, drops on April the 30th. It's 9 killer pop punk tracks that just really a great evolution from their 2017 album Awkward Phase. We talk so much about the new album and all of the merch and vinyl available, and then we dive deep into Chord Music Fest 7 featuring Blink-182, State Champs, The Used, and so many others. Without wasting any time, this is my conversation with the one and only Rishi from Eternal Boy. So I am so excited to have my guest here. This is a repeat upon repeat upon repeat guest. Always welcome. I've got Rishi Bahl from Eternal Boy. Rishi, what up?
What's up, man? How are you?
Good. It's good to see you. I like seeing everything in the background, because I just miss you and I feel like I'm getting, some of the Less Than Jake vibes, Eternal Boy vibes behind you. It is good to see you, my friend. It's been a long time. The pandemic has made it difficult for people to kind of get together in person, right?
Just a little bit. It's been a while. I mean, it's almost like the norm now. It's very weird, Zooming and not going to a show or not going to a movie or not going to dinner. But, hopefully that changes soon.
I'm hoping that it does as well. So, Rishi, there is a lot that we need to talk about because regardless of what's happening in the world, bands are persisting. They are moving forward and kind of pushing things forward because at the end of the day, I think we need to start just pushing it back to, some sort of normalcy. And bands releasing new music from the onset of the pandemic, even to right now. I've said this before. It has really helped me through. It's given me things to look forward to now that there's no shows to look forward to. So I'm stoked on the brand new album, Bad Days Are Over from Eternal Boy. I have already had the pleasure of listening to it and owning it physically on vinyl. We'll talk about the actual vinyl and stuff here in a little bit. But this album kicks. It's 9 amazing tracks of what you would expect from Eternal Boy, but then a lot of different stuff. So, Rishi, so I can stop talking and give you the floor. Give me some kind of semblance on when all of this started with Bad Days Are Over. I'm sure the pandemic played a role in when this dropped, released, how you approached it, so that we can just say we talked about that in the pandemic. How has it impacted this release to get to where we are right now?
Well, Angelo, thank you for that wonderful intro, you sexy stud muffin. And I guess they can't see your face and your nice little faux hawk. You fit perfect in 2007 My Chemical Romance 3 Cheers days.
Yes.
So Bad Days Are Over soon, I hope. But we actually finished recording the record before the pandemic. We finished everything in about February of 2020. And it was supposed to come out, in the summer of 2020, right when the original date for Chord Music Festival was going to happen. It was going to be that week. But of course, it certainly affected everything a band can do. Not only touring, but even up until the past couple months practicing. But Bad Days Are Over is essentially a amalgam, a combination, a culmination of a more mature view of the world. The music, we are not trying to reinvent the wheel. We never have been. We never will. We make just enough progress where we might bring in some new people, but we will never alienate the reason why people liked us. The album name Bad Days Are Over comes from, and you can see a poster right here of a band called Rufio. They had a song that they released on one of their newer records where the chorus talks about the bad days being over. And this was actually in the running to be called Bad Days Over in the Awkward Phase sessions. But I couldn't really convince the guys that was the right way. And truth be told, what a better time to have it be called Bad Days Are Over during the pandemic. So it's been very challenging. We did one live stream and we practiced twice, basically wearing hazmat suits before. This is when it was really hot in Western PA. Now we've been, we're all vaccinated actually in the band now. We're all fully vaccinated. So we have been practicing more, but it's just a different beast trying to release a record without playing a show. When you're a band at our size, you need to play shows. We sold of Awkward Face, 35% of the first week sales around were all sold from touring. We did Warped Tour that week, which we sold a bunch. So it's really going to be challenging and interesting to see what this first week holds for us for the new record.
And we'll talk about like the week leading into the album release, because the band is really swinging for the fences to really engage current and new listeners and pop punk lovers and everyone in between. And honestly, man, like, I'm not just saying this because I do love Eternal Boy and I've just like been in this scene with you for a lot of years in Pittsburgh.
You have.
But your release week leading into April the 30th is one of the most impressive, most creative, most like just really swinging for the fences. Like, you're doing it all. And we'll talk about that. So I'm really excited that you guys aren't letting things in the world slow down what Eternal Boy does. I feel like Eternal Boy kind of sticks to the same kind of people in terms of recording, producing. Who was involved with Bad Days Are Over in that aspect?
So again, first of all, I do also want to talk later about your involvement and my involvement in our local Pittsburgh scene, because people don't understand how far back it truly does go. But yeah, so my biggest fault, maybe even as a person and in business, is that I'm a very loyal person. We did have the opportunity to record with some other people on this record. Maybe you could say some more household names in terms of producers. But we absolutely adore Chris Badami. Chris Badami and I know Blink says this about Jerry Finn, but Chris is almost like our fourth member. He doesn't walk on our songs or shit on our songs. He just adds something. He's like, at times they'll say, oh, well, why don't you try this chord instead of that chord? Or why don't you do this harmony? Chris is really a big mastermind behind a lot of the harmonies on the record. Chris is, I cannot give a higher recommendation for anybody, even in a band listening. I mean, the guy is just a whiz. He's done The Starting Line, Early November, Alistair, Houston. I mean, he's done a ton of bands that we love. And this time we added a legend. His name's Ted Jensen. He mastered the record, which again, for people that don't know the process, you write the songs, you record the songs in a very, very time-consuming way. Then after you record it, the producer mixes it, and then after it's mixed, it goes even to a finer step where it gets mastered, where they kind of tweak the high and low ends. And Ted Jensen has worked with every single person you've ever listened to, from Paramore to Nirvana to Green Day to Newfound to The Offspring. I mean, he's done everything. So he was cool to work on this. And he did that during the pandemic where we couldn't go to the mastering studio to be there with him. But we exchanged, correspondence about it. So, I guess we'll call it the team on this was kind of similar with Chris. But we added like the Ted Jensen kind of flavor to it, which I think it slams. I wish we could go through. I did an interview with like a recording magazine type thing a couple of days ago where we talked a lot about the specifics about like the recording process and stuff. But this turned out, I think sonically it really hits at the right spot. Personally, hits me in that spot, the no spot. But yeah, that's it. We work with the same dudes and a lot of the same people because I believe in being loyal, and they're the best of what they do. I felt some growth here. I know you're saying you're not going to try to reinvent the wheel, right? And you don't always have to do that in everything in life, right? Like sometimes I think Eternal Boy really, I mean, you guys are great at reviving certain nostalgic feelings and stuff. I mean, that's a big theme, I think, for the band. I mean, that's the goddamn name, basically, right? So listening to this album, again, 9 tracks, I've listened through it from start to finish maybe 4 or 5 times. I really have, since I've gotten the vinyl early, been listening to it, and I really, really love it. There's a few tracks
that really caught me off guard, like in terms of like flow, where I was like, this is really nicely placed from like a quick, almost like hip hop beat. I mean, so subtle to like that acoustic track that makes me want to cry, dude. What song would you consider to be the one that maybe pushed you and the other dudes in the band the most as artists or as a band collectively?
I just love being on this podcast. I just want to say, I love the questions you ask. I love they're thought out. You know, I just did press with we have like a publicist that's in Europe, and I did all this press with Germany. I hope this goes to Germany.
Yeah, sehr gut. Yeah.
Yeah. Gesundheit.
Dankeschön.
Dankeschön. But they asked these ridiculous questions. So it feels very refreshing that you asked these questions. So we don't try to reinvent the wheel. We really don't. But we do listen to a wide range of stuff. Joe, our bass player, believe it or not, is in a Black Sabbath cover band with his brother and his cousin that are like, it's more like a theme band. Like they dress like, it's fucking hilarious to me because I did not, like, that's not my thing, but like people love them. And so like Joe is more like heavy, but then like he was really into the Offspring and like faster punk stuff. And Andy has kind of a Bruce Springsteen. And then me, I'm like pretty much all punk rock. But I think for me, you know, when I listen to that whole album, and it's really funny, if I one day I'll have to go through the code names for the songs. So the songs that are on the album was As They Stand. Yeah, those are them. They're not the names of the songs when we were recording them. And what we do is the code names for the songs 80% of the time are a band that we think it sounds like. So
that's
for
cool.
So for an example, like the song "Listen for the Clues," that's much more mellow for us, much more mid-tempo. It's essentially very Jimmy Eat World. So the code name song for that was Jimmy Eat World. You know, we had a song that was like NFG. You know, like Newfound Glory. The code name for that was NFG. So, you know, call it divine inspiration or whatever. But I think that for me, the song that sticks out is Listen for the Clues. It's, again, we're kind of a in-your-face-ish type band, you know, opening tracks are, you know, banging with, you know, like the rock beat, like constant kick drum stuff. And this is real in the pocket. And it really highlighted what Andy brings to the table, in my opinion. You know, previously we were the Space Pimps, and our drummer in the Space Pimps, whose name was Jared, very showy drummer. You know, very, very Travis Barker-y, very original, very good drummer. And that we highlighted that when we were the Space Pimps. Now, Andy is like the most in the pocket drummer. Like play. You don't need we play with a metronome, but like he doesn't even need it. He's playing with it, and that really highlighted his forte. And on bass, I mean, Joe is just a magnificent musician in general. He's a way better musician than me on guitar and on everything really. And so that really allowed like really cool bass licks to come out and pop that, again, Chris and Ted did a great job bringing out in a mixing way. That song to me really hits a spot that we haven't done, but like it's us. So for me, I would say if you hate Eternal Boy, which there are plenty of you that do, and you want a second chance at us, we have a great new sale on a song called Listen for the Clues that you might just like, and it might fit for you.
You know, I love the explanation with all that. And really, at the end of the day, I mean, there's 3 people in Eternal Boy, but the sound is powerful. It hits and it's consistent, but it grows every single time. So kind of a good segue with that is, Eternal Boy's previous album, Awkward Phase, dropped in 2017. What is the same and what is the same with Awkward Phase, and what will long-time listeners notice being different on Bad Days Are Over?
Great question. First thing I want to say about the time frame, 2017 to now is a long time. When you're an independent band, we're completely self-sufficient. We don't take any personal money, we are a completely self-sufficient entity. So when you do that, it takes a long time to replenish funds. We did a Kickstarter that helped, but so we need to, and our goal for the next 3-4 years is to record more music more often. But I think people that listen to Awkward Phase was like a new band almost. I mean, like people, I was just reading somebody posted on a Newfound Glory fan page on Facebook, this flyer when we did like 4 or 5 shows of Newfound Glory in like 2013. And it said the Space Pimps underneath it. And a lot of people were commenting surprisingly on this page, like, oh my God, the Space Pimps, like, are they still a thing? And this one person was like, yeah, like they're called Eternal Boy now. So like there really is a distinction between the two, in my opinion. And Eternal Boy was that first record to establish ourselves. But the thing is, I was a little scared. I didn't want to alienate people that loved the Space Pimps. So I think that the Eternal Boy record, though there is a lot of great stuff on there, you know, the song Demons was a big step forward for us. You know, a lot of stuff was cool there. Hung Up on Hope was a great single. It really was much more in that sweet spot of what the Space Pimps did well. I think that from its Awkward Phase to Bad Days Are Over, it is much more deliberate, if that makes sense. Bad Days Over is a more deliberate attempt at being the best version of Eternal Boy, not the Space Pimps version of Eternal Boy.
I remember, I mean, we've had you on the show from the beginning, you know, every step of the way, you know, we always just reconnect, and I love that. And I remember talking to you about the transition from Space Pimps to Eternal Boy. And you did say, you're like, look, it's the same three dudes. We're making the same music. And right, I mean, at that point in time, that makes complete sense. It wasn't a complete overhaul. You talked about how, you know, as you're growing up, you were being, I remember this, like being advised, like even from like a business savvy perspective, like the name may not take you as far, right? Well, you know, go back and listen to it. It's episode something, right? But I really respect the fact that Eternal Boy takes their time, you know, and not to just push out crap, but you guys engage with fans in between, right? I don't care about the time frame in between Awkward Phase and Bad Days Are Over. Obviously, you know, I'll take new music any day of the week, but I totally am into just seeing this growth and development, and Bad Days Are Over is full of it. Speaking more directly now to Bad Days Are Over. Now, I'm going to bring this up in front of me because one of the things that I love about your album is the album artwork. And you guys approached it so cool. It worked obviously so well with your singles, your pre-release single releases, because I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. I mean, each one of these are reflective of the song, like of a song of the 9 songs on the album. I'm really intrigued by it. It leaves a lot of room for interpretation, and that's probably the goal. And I'm not looking for clarity to the point where I don't get to guess anymore. But what was this approach with this album cover, with these 9 different images? Like, how did you get here? There's probably so many options. Talk to me about this.
Dude, that's such a good question. I love talking about the art. I absolutely adore the art. It's to me, it's a work of art in many ways. And I came up with the idea. We did not shoot. Normally, like the Awkward Phase cover, we shot, we edited, we did this was, the photos were taken by a guy named Bailey Zindal. He's from California. He runs a whole full-fledged graphic design photography company. Half Heart Media is the name of the company that he runs. He's done a lot of work for me. He did the Fortune Cove album artwork, which is a band that is signed to Four Chord Music. He did the single. So a song on Bad Days Are Over is called Promise, which is an acoustic song, which we actually recorded and released on Spotify and digitally whenever these shooting happened in Pittsburgh, in our hometown here, where there was 12, 13 people were shot, killed at a synagogue here in Pittsburgh. And all the proceeds for that were given to the foundation that was helping the surviving families. So he did the album art for that, which was fucking unbelievable. So I gave him the idea, and really, I got this idea, believe it or not, from the 1999 iMac Apple commercials. So in like 99, they came out with these computers that were all different colors of the rainbow, juxtaposed on a white backdrop. And then the advertising came, it was just yum. It's so good you can eat it. And so I love the minimalism, the super ultra modern contemporary look. So I had these ideas of items that were in the songs, and I got that idea from the show Ozark, where Ozark has 4 items before every episode that you will find in the actual episode. So we thought that it'd be good, kind of like treasure hunting for people that really like the band, to see how they actually fit. And I decided to do it like Newfound Glory self-titled, which a lot of people are commenting on, which is great. I'm not running away from it. The Newfound Glory self-titled album has a similar strategy and outline for it, and we kind of implemented it a little differently. But I do like that. I do like that it's a little bit of arty. It's a little bit of eye-catching. And then on the back of the record is kind of all of the items that are real items. It's not a graphic design. Those are real pictures taken. and we kind of put them together. And then with the CD itself, there's actually an insert for this one that we have more, like all the lyrics are on the insert for it. And then we have like the liner notes and stuff like that. But it was deliberate. I really, really think that the album artwork, I mean, excuse my ostentationness, but I really think that it is Grammy worthy how good that artwork is. I mean, to me, he did just an unbelievable job. It came together great. And, that's pretty much the story behind it, I think.
It really is. It's one of the first things that caught my attention about the album when you were putting out the singles. A band that was doing this as well, Future Teens, they were releasing singles and they had like a cup of tea. I had them on the show a couple episodes ago. They had a cup of tea, just like a common thing that people could relate to. They had a thing of blocks or something like play blocks. So this just feels relatable. And again, there can be a lot going on an album cover. Like, I mean, Awkward Phase has a lot going on, but it's all supposed to be one collective idea. This is 9 different ideas that create one collective idea, and I just can't stop thinking about it. So it's awesome.
That's awesome. First of all, Future Teen's unbelievable. Guest Room's one of my favorite songs I've heard in a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that means a lot. I mean, I think I thought the Awkward Phase album art was awesome too. But something about this feels very, very smooth. It feels very like early 90s minimalism art, not to be kind of an esoteric art asshole. But it's cool. I really like it. I think, again, the whole presentation of this, because we didn't, I'm not focusing on booking a tour and going on tour. Like, we had to put the time and effort into making sure that this was going to be something that was aesthetically pleasing and, auditorily pleasing.
Well, you nailed it, and I implore everybody to check out this album art and then dive into the music when it's available on April the 30th. 3 pre-release singles so you can satiate your appetite in the interim.
We're so smart.
I know.
So fucking smart. Let's just keep fucking using big words. Let's fucking do it. I'm going to implore you to show me your...
And what did you say? Esoteric and stuff?
Esoteric. It means like only understood by few, which, whatever.
Which is me.
Yeah.
Not understood. Oh, man, that's awesome. Big words are great. So now, Bad Days Are Over, the album release week. This is a full agenda of content planned. From an interview with the producer, Chris, that you had referenced, band practice hangout, which I can't wait for. And I've never been invited to one, and that's okay. Album release Q&A with acoustic songs. And then it leads into the premiere event, the album live stream on May the 1st at 7 p.m. Eastern. Tell me more about what the band has going on. I know I named some of this, but you can go into detail, whatever you want, for the release week and how it all kind of came together.
Well, what do bands do whenever they have albums coming out? They tour. We can't tour, so we tried doing, just so tough, like in your 30s, you're like, oh, let's go on TikTok and look at fucking 17-year-olds dancing. It's like, so we're trying to think of, we are on TikTok now. We are doing funny things on TikTok. Andy's going to be doing, our drummer is the best impersonator, but he's so shy and bashful to do it. I'm going to get him to do his impersonation. He does a killer impersonation of a dirt bike, believe it or not. It is unbelievable, and you have to see it and hear it to believe it. He does a great Mrs. Doubtfire impression. He does a bunch. So you go to our TikTok, you can figure that out. But we just thought, what are the ways we can stay active? And like, we're not expecting hundreds of people to go to every one of these every night, but it'll be on there. The content will stay on there. We'll save it whenever, people come back. But here's really the big macro level marketing strategy. I'm going to let you in. All you bands want to know how to be moderately successful. Here is how you become mediocrely successful. For years, bands are always constantly seeking new fans. I concur that that's very important. Okay. We've spent the last great part of the decade trying to create, a fan base. We have 20,000 plus followers on most of our socials. We put together some sort of competency in that regard. My goal, because we can't tour, my goal for this week and for really up to this point is to really engage the people that are already fans right now. If we can get all of those people to really buy into it, and I'm looking at the numbers in terms of our pre-saves and the streams and also our pre-orders, which are through the fucking roof, dude. I can't even believe it, how many pre-orders we've done. That's what we want to do. We need to move records that first week so we make a big footprint on the industry. So when people open up Billboard, it's like, what the fuck, Eternal Boys again on Heat Seekers, or they're going to stop and say, well, fuck, we better take a look at this, you know? And if you get people who really rep your brand to rep it, then it's going to permeate to other people. So up until the day the album comes out and really the release show, our attention is 100% towards those people that are already really, really into what we do. Week after, months after, that is where we will procure new fans once we have had the foundation. It's hard to convince someone to buy a new album from a new band that they've never heard. If you've already established in some way, shape, or form who you are, and then that's when we'll start doing partnerships. You know, I just did an interview with Spin Magazine, which was fucking really cool. That's going to come out after the album comes out. We have 2 music videos coming out after the album comes out. But that week is all digital content. You know, Chris Badami is going to be able to talk about how terrible musicians we are, which everybody knows. You know, the day after that, our good friend Joe Ragasta is in a band we've been friends with forever. You know, very few people have helped Eternal Boy. Kevin Lyman from Warped Tour has helped Eternal Boy. Joe Ragasta from Patent Pending has helped Eternal Boy. Mark from Goalkeeper has helped Eternal Boy. These people are very integral, and we sometimes forget how important our friends and our friends' bands are in being successful. Patent Pending brought us to the UK twice. We have 700, as of today, we have 738 pre-orders, physical pre-orders of either a vinyl or a CD. Of those 738, 200 plus are from the UK. I owe Joe from Patent Pending all the guys in Patent Pending, we owe them a lot. So Joe agreed to come on. Plus Joe is doing some ridiculous stuff right now that he hopefully will be able to talk about during that. The band hangout one, we kind of didn't know what to do. So we were going to just, you know, film a little bit give a little tour where we practice our new practice space that we have. And then the countdown is going to be really cool. Actually, do I have that with me? Yeah. So we're giving away one of a kind shit on the countdown to the new album. We're starting at 11 p.m. It's a little late. It's going to be terribly late in other countries. But every 10 minutes, we're giving away a new piece of Eternal Boy material. So we got these Yetis made that have the Eternal Boy album on it, which we're going to give away. Also, we have all of the items from the front of the album, which we are going to be giving away. We're thinking we're going to give some away, and we're going to maybe do like an auction for the ACLU or something like that for the rest of them. So we're giving away stuff every 10 minutes on that Thursday night going, and then we'll count down, and we're all going to get shit-faced on O'Doul's at midnight when the album comes out. Then Friday is going to be more calm. You know, I'm going to do some Q&A with me. I'll play a couple songs. And then on Saturday is our album release show, full band, full live stream, you know, like the full deal. Just, you got to build hype, man. I mean, we're not playing shows, and, you know, you got to make a splash. And, you know, it's tough to make a splash when there's thousands of bands it's easier than ever to release a song. You know, I mean, it's easier than ever to be in a band in many ways. It's harder than ever, and it's easier than ever to be in a band. So we're just trying to engage those people that really, really care.
Dude, I love that mentality. And truly, anybody listening in a band or representing a band or wanting to get in the industry, like, that is honestly really, really, really good advice. Another band that does that, and I know you love this band, Keep Flying does that like fucking champs, dude. That is like their ethos. That's what they did with, I have 2 variants of Survival. Did you get the orange one?
Wait for it.
Wait.
Boom. Wait. Boom. See, I don't open my really rare vinyl. Oh, you got both. Oh, fuck.
What do you think?
Orange.
What do you think about that, huh?
Dude, that's rad. That's like rad.
So,
fuck you. I got it first.
I was in the Spinning Thoughts group chat, and there's like 12, 13, 14 of us the day that this orange Keep Flying variant was going to go. And I told everybody, get your ass on their website, and we're all going to coordinate. Whoever gets one's shipping it to me. I ended up getting it in my cart. But dude, this is one of my proudest moments of this year. I'm not even kidding.
Great. I mean, those are our best friends. I mean, they're you know, they get it too. I mean, they grinded for years. They did Survey Says, then they transitioned to Keep Flying. I mean, like, our trajectories they tour way more than we do. And that's part of how do I say, it's part of their business plan. You know what I mean? It's part of their, don't call it a business. It's part of their ethos. Like you said, it's part of their character. They work hard. And when push comes to shove, all of those bands are in that group of circle with us, the Keep Flyings, the Fortune Coves, the Goalkeeper, the Patent Pendings. Like that's like the little subgroup. I feel like we're like the mini Drive-Thru Records, of 2021, much less successful version of Drive-Thru Records.
Oh man, Drive-Thru, what an experience, what a label, what a group of bands. So I'm going to dive more into the merch. There's vinyl, there's merch, all kinds of stuff. I've been showing off mine. I'm going to show it off again. I got the splatter. I think you have a half and half as well.
Yeah, half ruby, half baby blue.
And they're both gorgeous. I've been on a splatter kick. Like any splatter vinyl I can get, I get my hands on. So I'm really thrilled to have this and to add it to my collection. Rishi, here's the question I really have for you. Bands and labels are really struggling to press vinyl right now. How the fuck did you do this?
Well, I mean, it's expensive. I mean, although, whoa, I almost knocked my computer down. Although if you look at the numbers, I was just talking about this with Mark from Goalkeeper yesterday. If you look at growth, streaming is plateauing in many ways. It's still growing, but it's plateauing in comparison. Vinyl sales are up in the hundreds of percent over the last 4 or 5 years. I can tell you right now, I thought I printed too much vinyl, and I'm about to make a post on our socials. There's only 10 splatters left of the Tangerine yellow splatter. We got upwards of 400 of these printed too. So the vinyl thing is just super tough. The problem with vinyl is planning the release. It takes so long. I put this order in October, and I got the vinyl in at the end of February, early March. So it takes so long to do that. It's really hard. That's why people re-release it. So like bands will get their album out and everything will be streaming, and they'll get a few physical CDs, which take like weeks now. Then they have to re-release vinyl in a year and add a song to it because they can't wait for it. So the pandemic allowed us to plan a little better. I love the merch. The merch thing is something, believe it or not, I'm so old school that the merch thing was never my thing. It was always grind out, play shows, have one design, sell shirts, sell CDs, and then leave. This has proven me wrong, this whole process. We have custom screen printed 18 by 24. I mean, it's the here. I'm grabbing one. Fuck this.
Please do. They're gorgeous, and I'd love to see one right now.
I'm almost back.
That's okay, quick movement.
These are absolutely. They're humongous, first of all, but they're getting all these colors printed for screen print is super tough. We got them local, Commonwealth Press in Pittsburgh, pressed them all. They're only limited to 35, and there's about 11 left. I don't have all the merch with me. I literally, it's all in the basement where we practice. But we have a mega bundle where you can get the vinyl and the hoodie. We've got new hoodies. We have dad hats. We have it's just another way. I mean, to build a revenue stream or to rep the brand. And like I said, I'm blown away. I wish we would have done this yesterday because I finished doing all the pre-orders yesterday, and I'm hand packaging and handwriting notes to people like in almost every package. I don't know if I did one for you.
You didn't do one for me.
It's okay. So it was mostly for all the Kickstarters. I did them for all the Kickstarter people. Wow. Fuck me. All right. See ya. No, I'm kidding. So it looked like a fucking post. It just looked like a tornado hit in here before. It's just cool. I don't know. It's really cool. I spent almost $8,000 in postage. How about that?
Wow.
So I fucked up real bad too. I know Rishi and fuck up don't really go hand in hand.
No, it doesn't.
I fucked up so bad on some of the international shipping. I put a flat rate, and we had about 11 packages going to Australia, and of those 11, 8 of them were the mega bundles. So it cost almost $80 per package to send to Australia. And of course, you're not gonna not get Randy Jackson's autograph. Of course, you're gonna send that no matter what. So so I kind of fucked myself and the band's profit margins on those 11 packages and other internationals, but it's worth it. I'd rather you get the record. I'd rather you like it and enjoy it. So,
dude, and really, yeah, the bundles, the different vinyl variants, there's different shirts, there's, I think, a hoodie. It really, the whole package came together really nicely. I am curious, though, how many people do you think you're going to hear from saying that the vinyl is warped or broken because you have to flip it to 45?
Oh, yeah. How about, so, okay. That was a bit of a mistake. Okay. It was a bit of a mistake, but the 45, the smaller the indents are on the vinyl record, the better quality that will ultimately be when you play it. So I did get a few emails being like, why is it, you sound like you're a monster in it?
Dude,
like, what's
it was
happening
so
to it?
ridiculous, Rishi, when I played it for the first time and had it on 33, and you're like, yo, and I'm just like, whoa, boy, hit puberty, man. Like, what?
You have many that are, most of them are on 33.
Most are on 33, but I'll tell you, as you and I were talking off the air, I got the Boys Night Out Trainwreck, and that's a double LP at 45.
So 45 is more expensive to get made too. And that's kind of where I fucked up. I knew I wanted the better quality because, again, the faster those are going through, the better the quality will ultimately be. But I didn't realize when I got the quote afterwards that it was going to be as expensive as it was. But yeah, I've gotten emails already being like, dude, I need a refund. And I'm like, just switch that little button on your record. I know you just bought it 2 weeks ago from Walmart, but just flip it up and it'll be fine. Okay.
Oh man, I love seeing comments like that when it's something like really, it's just like, blip, click the button.
You want to see comments? I'll show you my inbox for Four Music Festival once we're done talking about the, Bad Days Are Over.
Well, you know what? This is a good segment segue right into Chord, right? So, man, one of the things that just blows me away about you, and there's so many things. I know I've said this to you, and I don't know if you take compliments well.
No, I don't.
But like, man, I've just always looked up to you. Like you've always been.
Oh, stop it!
I mean, dude, you know me, Chris Gates, Dan Knopp, dude, we all have looked up to you. You helped bands that I was in. You've brought them into music videos. You shot one at Dan's house. I mean,
oh my God, dude, that could have been bad. Oh, poor Dan. Dan moved out of that house. He had to fucking burn that thing to the ground after that day.
It's almost like if someone dies in the house, how can you go back? It's like you can't go back into that house.
I think somebody did die during that video shoot. I'm kidding. No.
So look, man, honestly, I've just always looked up to you, and it is because of your dedication to the Pittsburgh music scene. But then, it seems like you wanted to go beyond that but still keep things rooted in Pittsburgh at the same time. And I think that's what Chord Music, the label, the branding, and inevitably the fest. I think that's what it is. It's a bigger footprint, but still giving opportunity for local bands in Pittsburgh or bands that you have been friends with who have helped you along the way. Patent Pending's always on these things. Keep Flying, Hit the Lights. They're always on these things because you are loyal, as you said. This Chord Music Fest 7 is the biggest and most ambitious lineup in the fest's history with bands like Blink-182, The Used, State Champs, Mayday Parade, 4 Year Strong, The Ataris, and a ton others. Now, talking to you in the past about previous Chord fests, and we've talked about these, I started spinning thoughts because I wanted to interview bands for Chord Fest. I think it was like 4 or 5 or something like that. There's always seems to be something, though, dude, that just it goes wrong or something unexpected, some unexpected adversity that just makes you question why you do this. And I thought after, previous endeavors that, it couldn't really become more challenging to pull this thing off. And then there was COVID. I mean, bro, talk to me more about Chord Music Fest 7, and we will talk more about the bands and stuff, but really, I'm more curious as to why the hell do you do this? Every time I talk to you, I'm like, fuck, like, why did this have to happen to you? Like, but then you persist.
What a question. Yeah. What a question, man. What a fucking question. Let's just end it on the question. Yeah. That's how good that was. I am a glutton for punishment is apparently why I like doing this. I mean, listen, I really, really, really love starting something from scratch, building it up, the band, and also my mentality is I just can't, when I stick to something, I do it. Like whether it's school, I've been in school my whole life, whether it's the band, whether it's, the festival, whether it's, any of the friends, anything like, I'm just so, there for it, hell or high water. And the festival is, again, a labor of love for sure. Last year, people love creating these narratives about what happens and what's, and I get it. You spend money on a product and you feel like you didn't get it, But for those that don't know, Four Chord Music Fest 6 had The Offspring, and The Offspring canceled, I think it was 11 and a half minutes before doors opened to the festival. We're talking thousands of people waiting in line. VIP is open. Bands are performing at VIP. Wrestling had started. And I got the phone call about 11, and whatever. I don't fucking care if The Offspring sees this. I mean, it was fucking, whatever the fucking reason was, it's not reason enough as far as I'm concerned.
Agreed.
But I understand shit happens, and that was I had about, there was 3 people in the room when the phone call came in. And those are the only other people that have ever seen me in a sheer panic mode. There was a moment where I was like, I'm driving home. I'm going to go to my bed. I'm going to put the covers up and pretend like this didn't happen. But for people that went to Four Chord, like, it ended up being ridiculously great. I mean, that's what's so great about the festival and the scene. I mean, like Simple Plan, for example, was the main support to The Offspring. Like, I went into their tour manager. I'm like, hey man, I got some fucked up news. And he goes, Offspring's not playing, are they? Oh. I was like, why didn't you tell me this fucking 3 days ago, dude? I go, yeah. And I go, they go, it's cool. Simple Plan will play for 35 more minutes. Dude, fucking Simple Plan covered an Offspring song in a derogatory way. It was so cool. And so of all the people, right? And I offered refunds to anybody that did not use the ticket. So before anybody walked into the gate, there was a sign that said, The Offspring has just canceled unexpectedly. If you walk in the show and you scan your ticket, you will not be eligible for a refund. If you came for The Offspring, turn around, don't use the ticket, and email this email address. And dude, of all the thousands of tickets sold, there were 220 refunds. That's it. So that, to me, that says that people, and nobody had a bad thing to say about it. It was just, the setup was so good. We were there overnight, man. There was a soccer game at the stadium it was at that ended at 9 p.m. the day before. We built the entire thing from 9 p.m. until 9 in the morning. I mean, it was hell, and I'll never do it like that again. But it is very tough, But in the end of the day, I don't know. It's like you become Angelo from Spinning Thoughts. Like, that's your identity. You know what I mean? Like, without that, maybe of course it'll end someday, and Eternal Boy will end someday, and Four Chord will end someday. But it becomes part of who you are. So it's like, if you don't try to push through, then what are you saying about what it is that you feel strongly about? So this year, last year, I guess that is now. Last year, I had been courting Blink for a long time, and for those that didn't know, I had really almost had Blink for the Four Chord Music Festival 6, but it was a long story. But long story short, they ended up bringing Lil Wayne on tour with them. They wanted way too much money, and I never was informed that Lil Wayne was part of the package. So it just didn't work mutually. It just didn't work. And so this year I courted them very hard. And thankfully, the agency that represents Blink also represented The Offspring. And they were very, very empathetic towards that experience. And again, I handled it. I took it on the chin, man. To the agency, I wanted to ream them by the necks, but I didn't. They were very, very, very good about everything. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about this agency that's humongous.
Yeah.
And so I was like, listen, I want Blink. Can we get it done? They said, sure. And once you get Blink, I mean, it's you I mean, there's no going back, and it's at that point you can pretty much get any band you want. That's what happened. I announced on a Friday. Tickets went on sale on a Friday in last March, and the entire United States shut down on the following Tuesday. So that was that. We waited a little bit, and Blink's people called and said, like, listen, I told them, I'm like, this can't happen. This is my dream come true. I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight, but that will be the only day that I will do that. And then we just talked about the new date, which is July 17th, 2021. And who would have fucking thought? Maybe that won't happen now. So, we're talking now about we're talking about pushing it to the fall. It's moving mountains, dude. Yeah. I mean, moving to get the schedule of one of those 15 bands is impossible to line up. Now you got to get it to 15 of those 15. And, you know, it's very tough, but I get solace in knowing that every person is going through something 10 times worse than what I'm going through. So that's that.
Dude, you really provide a lot of inspiration. I mean, for real. Like the DIY scene, what you've been doing for Pittsburgh, for the Four Chord Music Fest, all the adversity. I mean, you easily could have given up. You could have just said, fuck it, for all the thousands of people still there at Four Chord 6 and just went home. Dude, I don't know how you stayed. I would have been absolutely devastated. But again, I said this at the beginning, and I think I just want to make you blush again. I look up to you, man, and it's because of these things that you do.
I'm kidding, sorry.
So, look, something in every music fest that you do for Four Chord, you almost try to do something different, something to engage other audiences, because it's about building a community, and the community is not just one-dimensional, right? What are you most excited for about Four Chord 7 that's kind of beyond the music? Are you doing anything unique for this iteration?
Lot of I mean, again, I'd love one day to get for the public to somehow see what a normal email day goes like, or what a normal day. I mean, lots of opportunity, lots of people, you know, all of a sudden now want to collaborate. But when I asked them 5 years ago when it started, they did. And I get it. You have to prove yourself. In terms of other things happening, there will be some new additions. We're likely going to do wrestling again. When I say we, I mean me. It's so weird. It's fun. It's fun saying we. It makes you feel like you're like people work for you, but there's nobody. I'm going to try to add installation art. I've been talking to a local artist that will essentially create a huge piece at the show. Maybe we can auction it away with charity. Working with nonprofits this year, we have a music video coming up for Eternal Boy that is related to this nonprofit too, which is a cool thing we have coming up. But Biggie's Bullies is a nonprofit that we really feel strongly about, that we're going to collaborate with at Four Chord this year and futures to come. And we have some kind of circusy type people that are going to be coming around, breathing fire and things like that. Because you got to think now, I mean, you know, you got to provide a little more to the consumer once you start getting at this level. I mean, people go to Warped Tour, there's all sorts of shit going on, you know, and this is essentially will never replace Warped Tour. But this, I'm divinely inspired by Kevin Lyman and everything he did. So to say that this isn't like Warped Tour 2.0 for Western PA would be a lie. That's exactly, you know, what we'll do. So there'll be collaborations. Again, a lot of stuff is still TBD, you know, I mean, it's like a lot of collaborations are like, let's put on hold till we know that, you know, this is gonna really work. And, you know, I've got a lot of emails, not to switch the subject back to COVID. I get maybe 30 emails a day from people telling me that there's no way this can happen. There's no way. So I want everyone to know that, you know, even there's listening to this or is thinking of going. I mean, there is nobody on planet Earth that takes COVID more seriously than I do. And, you know, my first suggestion would be people go get vaccinated. I've been vaccinated. I don't have a third eye yet. I have a third leg though. I'm kidding. But you know, so go get vaccinated. But otherwise, you know, we're going to be, I mean, I've been talking to a lot of the people, you know, at the venue saying, how about we test every person that comes in? What's that going to cost? What do we need to do? You know? So I hope if and when it happens, I think it's more leaning towards the when it happens, not if. You know, it's going to be as safe as it possibly can for this virus.
I believe it. When you do something, like you said, you do it right. You see it from start to finish. And look, Blink 182. You're not going to let down Blink 182.
Oh my God, Blink.
Listen,
I get killed.
I remember talking to you for Four Chord 6 when it was the starting line and how
four.
Was that 4? Was it?
4 Chord 4 is the starting line. 4 Chord 5 was bass.
I love how I'm questioning you. Like, I love how I'm questioning you. Are you sure it's 4?
It's a starting line year. That's why 4 Chord 4 had one of my favorite bands, the starting line.
So, you know, I know that one blew you away. We talked about that. I got to actually, because of it, I got to interview Kenny Vasoli myself, which I was on a podcast. I was, for one of the few times ever, somebody was interviewing me, and I was asked, what is my bucket list guess? And I already said I checked off one. And Kenny Vasoli, man, like the starting lines of my top 5 favorite bands. That's including bands like I love Zeppelin and Floyd. I'm putting them up there with bands from 60s, 70s. They are top 5 for me. I love the starting line.
Well, how about we get Mark from Blink to be on your show?
Yeah.
Why not? What's? I mean, obviously I can't guarantee that, but of course we'll make the conversation happen. That'd be fucking awesome. Burt from the U's.
Burt's. So on Burt as well, my other answer of my next bucket list guest is Burt Mccracken. It's no joke. I love the U's. They're one of my favorite bands.
I hear he doesn't do many interviews, but he lives in Australia now. You know that?
I didn't know that. But that, that dude, anything he does wouldn't surprise me. And I think he's just one of the coolest. I've never met him, but I just fucking love him. I fucking love the guy. How can you love somebody you've never met? I don't know. Maybe because they make awesome music.
Great frontman.
Absolutely. And he's been through a journey too, just with his vocals and things like that. And anyways, this lineup for 4-Chord, it's epic. And again, one of the shining stars is you have bands like Blink-182 and the U's, and we talked about them, but I also just want to throw out other bands like Eternal Boy playing Keep Flying, Lookout Loretta, which is a badass band from Pittsburgh, Fortune Cove, which as we mentioned is on 4-Chord, the label, and a few others. So you share the love, man, even with bands that, like, honestly, think about it. Like, I couldn't imagine, like, playing as an opener for Blink-182. You're making dreams come true.
Dude, I'm making my own dream come true. Fuck everybody else. This is my dream. This is nobody else's dream. No. But I mean, again, I get some shit messages from bands. You put the same 4 bands on the show. Hey, dude, come hang out, man. I'm easy to get along with. And I'll make you laugh more than most people.
Absolutely. And like you said, you're loyal. You're loyal. You take care of your friends. Rishi, I appreciate you very much. I consider you a friend, and I'm grateful for that. Before we go, I'd like to give you the opportunity to add anything else that maybe I didn't mention, correct anything that I could have fucked up, or any final words.
First of all, I want to say I've known Angelo for a very long time. I was thinking today, when was the moment I remember meeting you? And I remember, though I know I met you probably before that, is Mr. Small's Theater in Pittsburgh. Angelo was in a band called the Skunk 11, a ska band that had literally, how many people were in that band?
11 members.
11.
At that point.
Oh, Skunk 11. Fuck. 11 people in the Skunk 11. He was one of them. They played a battle of the bands. And did you guys win that? No, Masters of the Universe won.
The Skunk 11 has never won a battle of the bands, and I think it's the reason why we quit.
Great reason to quit playing music. But I just want to say I've known Angelo for very long. I've known him and all of his consiglières, Chris Gates, who was in his band, Dan Canop, who we mentioned, who we shot our Party Foul music video. These dudes have been Brandon, Eric, all those. These dudes have been like proponents and supporters of the Pittsburgh music scene for so long. So where you can sit here and give me praise, it doesn't happen without people like you and your friends going to shows, me going to shows. That's why I go to every fucking show. So thank you very much for what you do. But again, Bad Days Are Over is out April 30th. This is it. It's the next 2 weeks is going to determine whether we are going to be famous or we're going to stay the same. I'm kidding. It doesn't matter. But please go stream the music wherever you stream music. It'll be available everywhere. I think that there's something for everybody on this. And all we ask for you is to give us a chance. We will let you down. Why don't you quit laughing? Oh, I'm not that funny. Tell my wife that. I'm fucking funny. She doesn't laugh at anything I say.
Well, have her watch this episode. She'll see. I'm red in the face. I'm laughing. Dude, I love having you on. Rishi Bahl from Eternal Boy, thanks for being here for episode 216.
Thanks so much, Angel.
Once again, I want to thank Rishi from Eternal Boy for being here for episode 216 of Spinning Thoughts. Make sure you go and pre-order, pre-save, and check out the new album Bad Days Are Over from Eternal Boy. It's available as of April the 30th. 4-Chord Music Fest 7. Let's see what happens. Fingers crossed. Make sure you're following us on all social media at Spin Thoughts. Our website is thespinningthoughts.com. We'll be back again soon. Until next time, make sure you share music, spread love.
Just engulfed in a plastic cup with no tone.